Hi, I'm Max Walker&Williams. I just wanted to give a little bit of context before we jump into the video for people that don't follow me on Twitter. So I was in Davos and Christian and I were trying to get an interview done, and we actually managed to film half of it, and I might release that video as a separate video again. And Christian approached me towards the end of Davos and said, look, Max, I really want to get this interview done, but I've got to leave for Zurich Airport in 15 minutes. You're going the same way. If you drive me to Zurich Airport, we could do the interview in the car. So it was literally that organic, off the cuff. I had 15 minutes to set up the cameras in the car, and I am not a cameraman. So I set up a top of the range GoPro on the dashboard of the car, facing in, so that you would have Christian and I sat next to each other chatting, and then we had a couple of backup cameras for cuts and things. And when I looked at the GoPro, the display on the GoPro showed a brilliant picture, nice and bright. You could see both of us. It was going to be perfect. It was only a couple of days after the interview that we're in the studio, put the memory card of the GoPro into the computer, and it's completely black. I mean, literally black. It recorded, you can hear sound, you can hear movement and that sort of thing, but there is no picture. So I was really let down by the GoPro. So instead, we've had to rely on the two sub cameras, which is the camera that was on my window pointing directly at Christian. And then thankfully, I had my iPhone recording, which gets both of us, but a little bit of me and most of Christian, which is important because he's the subject. So the sound, I think, is okay. It's not ideal because there's a lot of background noise, but that's to be expected because we're driving in a car. But I just wanted to give you that context so you understand what's happening and why the video is the way it is, because it's something I've never done before. But I really, really hope you enjoy it. And I think the format is great because you do get much more natural, friendly and organic conversation when driving in a car for some reason than when you just sat in two chairs in an office. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Between you and I think this is personally my favorite interview for me. I don't mean the content. I don't mean, comparing it to other videos. I just mean for me, it was the most enjoyable. And I think that's because it was in the car. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you soon.
It was interesting you talking about my education and everything, but I don't know if people are interested in that.
Of course they are.
I'm not even interested in that.
No, I know you're not, but that's because you know it, and it's you. So no, I meant it's you to you.
It's a good point.
It's you. So, but people who don't know, and they do want to know about the people behind the thing. Yeah, I think 2's going to be too bright. I mean, that's a bit mental.
But is it distracting?
I don't know, because we're driving in a car park, not on the motorway, and I don't want to say yes as we hit a tree. 1 minute, let me just. So, what's happening here? Okay, so now we're getting undertaken. Now it's a disco.
Ooh,
that's nice.
Warm blue, purple.
Purple. What are we? Hang on, I can't see the buttons now. Smooth field flash. Okay. Oh yeah, that's worse. 1 minute, okay. So
I definitely vote against the flash.
Flash, yeah, this is, yeah. There's no way we don't get pulled over. Okay, that's too much. That's too small. I need to turn 1 on. Come on. Right, there we go. I got 1 on, and I tell it to be yellow. There, that's enough. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're happy.
I mean, it's
right.
great.
Okay.
Because you want to be in shot.
Yeah, yeah,
so you
yeah.
want to be
of
lit
course.
the same as me.
Yeah. It's not necessary, but I want to be, because I'm a narcissist. Okay, so let's just get back on the motor without causing a pile-up. So we were chatting before.
You don't have narcissistic personality disorder, though.
Thank you. Oh, was that a question, or was that?
No, I don't know.
Was that a question, or was
that
an
observation, I think.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, just to tell everyone, because anyone watching this on YouTube with absolutely no context, that's really important. You have to remember context.
Yeah.
So,
which we were talking about earlier.
Christian, who is the chap set to my left, who should be driving, but
I'm waving at all the cameras.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you.
By the way, Max's setup in this car is just like you see on what's his name, James Corden,
yeah,
and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
it's pretty pro setup.
Thank you very much. So the way this has come about is because it turns out Hedera is pretty strapped and Christian hitchhiked. So the way this came about is that we were filming an interview at Hedera House in Davos, and Christian kept.
I should think it is house. I don't think it's house.
It's Hoos. H-A-U-S.
It's house.
Is it?
Like,
Well, I've been saying Hoos
you
the whole
don't say
time.
Clues, you say Klaus.
Why did you wait until the end of the week to tell me that I've been saying the wrong name for 4
I
days?
don't know how you get hoose.
It's H-A-U-S.
Yeah.
Who let the moose hoose and load that inside that hoose?
Yeah, but when someone's called Klaus, they're not Clues. I don't know.
I don't know.
We need a German.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted you.
Someday I met today's wife's German. Anyway, that's okay. So we were going to do an interview in a very similar style to ones I always do. This is a first for me. I don't know if it's a first for you.
It's absolutely a first for me.
Okay, and so yeah, so we got interrupted a lot because Christian's an incredibly important man, and there was a lot going on.
Actually, why I was interrupted was very unglamorous stuff.
Yeah, but important nonetheless, I'm sure. And so it was full on. Jokes aside, it was really full on at Hedera. There were people coming in through the door, and you don't know if it's a student or, you know.
I don't know how many students there.
No, that's fair. But there were loads of people carrying snowboards.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Not into the hoose though.
No, that's fair. But it was this most surreal thing watching these hippie kids walk down the street carrying snowboards, and coming the opposite way were army guys carrying machine guns.
I totally agree.
And like, in what other situation is that a normal thing? But anyway, we keep digressing. Can I do my introduction now?
Yeah. Oh, you are doing it right now. It's just a long one.
It's just a long one, yeah. And I normally do it solo, by the way. This is my show.
All right. Do it.
Thank you.
I'll do the clap.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're not too loud because I'm driving. So it was a madhouse in a good way. You know, there were a lot of people coming in, a lot of people needing things, attention, conversations, all sorts. And so people needed the room, people needed Christian, nobody needed me, but that's fine. And so we had to cut the interview short. That's the long and short of it. And so it got so busy in a really good way, with people coming in asking to speak to somebody and learn about Hedera, that it didn't make sense to try and rush the second half of the interview. Christian and I don't know when we're going to be together next, but it's probably not going to be for a little while, so I really wanted to make the most of the interview. And then Christian had a fantastic idea, which is, why don't you give me a lift to Zurich Airport?
Oh, I wanted a lift.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanted a lift. That's what I said, you wanted a lift. What did I say wrong?
No, you said I had a fantastic idea.
No, I said, yeah, you did have a fantastic idea, which is I need a lift. It was true.
Yeah.
Where else did it come from? So he had an idea, which is, why don't you give me a lift? And the idea bit, actually, you've jumped the gun there. What I was going to say is, he had a fantastic idea, which is, why don't you give me a lift to Zurich? And this is the idea bit, and we could do an interview in the car. And I thought, my first initial reaction, see, look, we've got to keep an eye, because I've got the lady's voice off and we're coming off here.
Put them on. Everybody, we're coming off.
You're going to miss your flight.
We're going to Hinwil, Reichenberg,
You did really well there.
Rapperswil.
Oh, are we going to Zurich, or are we still going to...
Zurich.
Yeah, but does the sat nav know we are? Because I changed it.
Oh, I don't know. Ooh.
Okay, well, we'll find
Everybody,
out.
we might be
Why are we
going
coming off the motorway?
That doesn't feel right. It says Zurich that way.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So where's she
taking it back to the petrol station?
Probably.
By the way, we were looking for a petrol station, and I kid you not, how many were on the map right there? 30?
More, 50, yeah.
Yeah. I've actually never seen so many in such a close proximity. How do they support one another?
I have no clue. And I thought you were going to tell the story about how I came off at the one junction that didn't have a petrol station.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that's
we
where
did
that was
a
going.
U-turn.
Right, let's...
Oh, that's right.
Oh. It is right. That really didn't feel right, did it?
It did not feel right, because it said Zurich that way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway, you're on this adventure with us, everybody.
Yeah, this is real life.
Yeah. And by the way, I tip my hat to you, Max. We were talking a little bit about this earlier. Max is driving a right-hand drive car that should be a left-hand drive. I don't know how his brain does it, but we haven't crashed yet.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
There we go. Thank you very much for that. And now you've jinxed it, so if you believe in jinx, we're screwed.
I don't.
Okay, we'll find that. So I thought, what a fantastic idea. I thought I don't know how good the content's going to be, how practical it's going to be, but actually we've had a bit of a conversation on the way, and it was fantastic. I had nothing to worry about. So we thought we'd try it out, and I'd interview Christian whilst driving him to Zurich Airport. So Thank you very much for joining me.
No, it's great.
Yeah. So we were talking just before about you've seen the interview I did with Jordan, did you?
Well, I thought I had watched it all, but I obviously...
No, you don't. You weren't paying attention because it's a two-parter.
I didn't get
It's in
it.
the title.
I didn't get to the good stuff.
Yeah, you must have thought it was odd at the very end when it said to be continued.
I must not have been paying full attention, because have you continued it?
That doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Did you? Well, it's the same as this one. People aren't going to pay attention to it.
I'm sure they will. Well, yeah, I think they will, because it's so different. So anyway,
but it was to be continued, and you did continue it, but I didn't continue it.
No. And my question was, what did you think of the interview, and what do you think of Jordan?
Yeah. Do you want me to say it again?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, so I'll probably say it completely differently now, and you'll be like, that isn't what you said earlier.
Yeah, it's a complete stitch up.
But
there's no reason why you wouldn't.
You know, startups are really hard to get going.
Yeah.
You know that from your personal experience. You've started so many companies, and it feels daunting when you're getting going, and it takes a interesting mindset and an interesting individual that's really going to be wired to do that. It's not for everyone, and I am really appreciative of everything Jordan did to get Hedera going in the early days. I really enjoyed working with Jordan. Actually, one time we were in Dallas, we went to this barbecue place that's in a petrol station. Actually, they're called gas stations in the States.
Yeah.
I actually think the best barbecue is probably in gas stations. I don't know, but it's called Rudy's, and it was just me and him, and we ordered pounds of meat and had a great time and sketched out ideas on the. They don't give you plates though. They literally give you paper that you dump them all on.
Like grease paper kind of stuff.
Yeah. And we were sketching out ideas. It was great. So I think we had a really good working relationship. And when he left, I was very happy for him, because he felt that his sort of story arc had finished, been complete
his journey,
at Hedera,
yeah.
And it was time to do something else. And he really wanted to, turbocharge the HBAR community and do things that, by the way, is a horrible sound.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I didn't expect that. That's not even me. That one wasn't me. Those are the windscreen wipers, everybody. Yeah, sorry about that. You were really in your rhythm then as well. Sorry.
Yeah. So, when it was time for him to move on, I was happy for him, and we were all at Hedera at that time, and very constrained, as you know, in what we can market and say around HBAR and things like that. So, funnily enough, I remember when we were having the conversation about what he was going on to do, it was really centered on hbar.com and some ideas he had there, and less so about NFT.com actually.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to see what he's actually ended up doing, and
in what sense?
Well, he has built a platform on Ethereum.
Yeah.
And yet he had so much. He put years of his life into Hedera. And
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, yeah, literally. I don't know about the blood.
No, fair.
There was sweat. There was sweat, and there were
and money too.
And there were tears. Yeah, and
money.
His personal money.
With no,
absolutely.
With no, like, it's not like now where you've got a team and
yeah, it was very different. There was nothing. There was nothing.
That's
there was,
pure faith.
Yeah, yeah. So I haven't talked with him about this, so I don't know what he would say. But I don't know why he did not pursue what he said he was going to do when he left, and so I can't. And we were talking about this before. He could have, it's fair enough that he's on Ethereum, but he didn't take us on that journey with him.
Yeah.
So that's hard. So, and I can't understand it from a business perspective either, because he could have built something for the Hedera H-Barbarian community.
Yeah.
Tested it there. We would have been cheerleading for him.
Yeah. Far more forgiving.
Rooting. Yeah.
Of any
if
mistakes.
the product had rough edges, which all products do out the gate, you'd be, like you say, you'd be forgiving. We'd be on that journey with him.
Yeah.
And it feels like a very odd business decision, because he's nobody in the Ethereum space, and that's a very saturated market, and so it's just hard from a business perspective to understand what he's doing and how he'll be successful. And then it's also because he didn't take us along on that journey, it feels like a bit of a betrayal, I'd say. Why we would have all understood if he'd have told us, and well, or maybe we wouldn't have understood because but we didn't even have that opportunity. Yeah. And so, and again, I haven't had this conversation with him. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We're not going to say.
No, you promised me.
Yeah. I'm still living down the shanty episode.
Yeah. We weren't going to mention that. Don't mention the war. Yeah. And so we also. Do you think? So you clearly made. In your opinion, he's made a mistake.
I think he's made two mistakes. Yeah, I think there's a mistake around if you say you're going to do something, then you've sort of made a commitment, and if for some reason, which changes all the time, right? There might be business decisions or financing decisions, or I don't know. Maybe his investors said, don't build on Hedera. But I don't know, and the fact that we don't know is the problem. I think that speaks to integrity. So if you're going to do something, you should do it. Yeah. And if you end up not doing that thing, then just tell people why. Yeah. So that's a challenge. And then the other one is it's a bad business move, because grow something, make it successful in a small market, admittedly, a fraction of the size of the Ethereum market. Yeah. But then when it's successful and you've got great traction, then everyone would understand when you say, now I'm also going to support Ethereum because there's so much more liquidity over there.
Yeah, you could be a big fish in a small pond, and then when you're the right size, go into the ocean.
A great. You're a man of analogies, by the way. You've got an analogy for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other people feel the same way as well.
And we were about to, as we pulled into the gas.
By the way, no personal animosity.
Oh no, anyone watching this, you've got to take the context of this card.
If I met Jordan tomorrow, I'd have a conversation with him, and
when you said you're not talking, you didn't mean you're not talking. You just meant you're not.
We have not talked.
We have not talked. Yeah. It's good that we made that clear. Yeah. I'm not talking. Oh, by the way, I'm not talking to him.
But I would ask him, because I would love to understand.
Well, you just sort of have. So hopefully, maybe he'll come back, and then we'll know the answer.
And I don't know, because I didn't watch episode 2. Maybe he covered
it's not out yet. So
maybe he covered it all.
It's not out yet. So he does touch on it, but you'll have to watch it properly this time, please. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Well, now I feel like I did watch it. Well, you haven't released episode 2. I can't tell you if you
watched it or not. I haven't released episode 2. No, I released episode 1. Right. You were like, but if you watched it, it can't have made sense because it just stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're not doing episode 2 of this, by the way. I'm not driving back to Zurich.
We're not going back. Well, we'll do that. But I'll pick you up next year from the airport and drive you there if you're there next year. So We were just arranging a bet, weren't we, before we pulled over to the gas station.
Oh yeah.
Petrol station for everybody else. We were going to have a bet, and the bet was, you said that because we were talking about all sorts, and we started talking about other platforms. We were talking about Solana, weren't we?
No, we weren't talking about Solana. We used Solana as an example.
Yes.
So the context was around the long-term success of Hedera.
Yes.
That we are built for the long.
Yeah.
We're built for the long term. You know, Manson Lehman.
Yes.
Had a vision from the get-go that is the blueprint.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to really understand it, it is the white paper. You know, if you read the white paper, that is what we're following.
Yeah.
So I just want to set it in context because we weren't talking about Solana. We could have picked another one.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But I was saying, you know, on a long enough time frame, I don't know what it is. You know, Hedera is going to be extremely successful. Like, we are going to win the market.
Yeah. And then
I believe
you said Solana. Yeah. This is so that's great financial advice. Thank you for that. Yeah.
It's definitely my belief. I wouldn't be in it if I didn't think we were going to win it.
Yeah, of course. And to be fair,
in it to win it.
From what I have seen, and I'm not just saying this because equally, you know, even more so than yourself, I can build pretty much anywhere. I can invest pretty much anywhere, and I can talk on YouTube about pretty much anything I want. And in fact, talking about and I do, yeah. And these larger projects, I'd probably have more followers because there's more people who are interested in, because, you know. So, but from what I've seen this week, I can.
So, by the way, take us on that journey when you ditch us for the bigger project.
Yeah. So I was going to use this as a platform to say goodbye.
We overtook, and now we're being undertaken.
We're being undertaken by a Volkswagen.
Yeah. What is that?
Touareg. So the long and short of this is that you said that you didn't think Solana would be a thing anymore.
As an example, I said, you know, Hedera wins, and you know, out of these 2,000 projects that all look alike, Hedera has chosen a different path, looks very different.
Yes.
It's hard to see something like Solana.
Yes.
And let's pick Solana.
Yes.
That, and I said it, you know, it's hard for me to believe that they'll really be around in 10 years.
Or certainly be anywhere near where they are at the moment.
To which you said
5 years.
5 years, and I was like,
believe,
really?
Less than, yeah, exactly.
I was like, really? And we didn't get into why you believe that, by the way.
No, we didn't. But then what we did say, I said, do you want to put some H-bar on it? And you said yes. So how much H-bar do you want to put? Well, first of all, we have to clarify what no longer.
Well, I kind of want you to win the bet.
Okay.
But
what does Solana look like in 10 years? Or platforms like Solana? Let's not pick on Solana, but platforms like Solana.
But we are picking on Solana specifically.
Yeah,
for the
we
bet.
are. Yeah, we are. Well, we're not picking on it. We're just that's the top. You got to pick. You got to pick a horse. Yeah. So.
Well, and I said, you know, EOS was really flying high, right?
Top 5. 4, 3. Yeah.
Sustained as well. Not like a flash in the pan, like an up and down.
No, it wasn't.
So it was the Solana of its time.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
It's a good parallel.
Yes.
And now it isn't.
No.
I don't know where it is.
And never will be again.
And that's it. It never will be again.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Because you know, things can drop and pop and, you know, down and up.
Yeah, big announcement or whatever.
But that one, you just. I think you put it well. You said it's a dying
platform.
Project.
Yes. And the reason I think that is because it basically serves one purpose, much like Ethereum, which is NFTs. In my mind, that's kind of the use case. Ethereum is OpenSea in my mind, and the demand for sustainability and the demand for continuity and service is only growing, and it'll compound against projects who can't deliver, because every time that somebody moves from one of those projects to Hedera, it's not just that zero-sum game. it's the compounding effect of all the people they bring with them, and the developers and everyone else, and then and that whole thing moves over.
Yeah, and we are starting to see that.
Yeah,
you know, it's not a flood.
But we will hit a tipping point, and that's why I think humans are very bad. I don't know why I'm talking about humans as if I'm not one, but humans are generally, humans and I are very bad at predicting things.
Well, you're not. You're great at predicting Solana's not going to be around in 5 years.
And what I mean by that, thank you very much, is that they think that success is on like a straight trajectory, and actually it's more like a hockey stick. I've found in life that in the first 10 years of my business career, you wouldn't have really noticed any difference in me, my lifestyle, or my bank balance, or anything else. But between year 10 and year 12, you hit like a tipping point, and then things just take off like a hockey stick. So, and you see this in loads of different things, and people think that, you know, losing weight, you know, and everything, it's not, you don't lose 1 pound every week. The weeks where you don't lose anything, and then all of a sudden, you know, you'll hit something and you just shed a load, and people know, they won't notice for the first few months, but then if you haven't seen somebody for 6 months, wow, there's a transformation. So I just think it'll be a lot quicker than, because I think your time projection of 10 years is based on what's happened before, but what you can't see, it's like a house that's degrading, like crumbling away. You don't notice, and you're trying to predict how long the house will remain on the cliff edge, but one day the whole thing just comes straight down. It's just a tipping point that and it's being undermined.
See, that's another analogy.
Yeah. I can't stop myself. Yeah. It's just being undermined, and every one of those grain of sands is another project, either giving up, going away, rug pulling, or whatever, or more importantly, moving over to Hedera. So not only is it a grain of sand coming away from the cliff, it's shoring up another one, and that's why I think it'll be in under 5 years. But how much H-bar are we saying?
Well, again, I don't want to lose H-bar,
no,
but I want you to win the bet. So I don't know. You throw out a number.
Well, see, the thing is,
you actually, do you know what we should say? We should say that the community should respond to this video.
Yeah, great idea.
Right, let's let the community decide.
Let me say one thing first, though. We could say 1,000 H-bar, but what's the value in 5 years' time? Right?
It's a great point.
Yeah, because it's what, like, I mean, because of all the work I've been doing this week, the price has rallied. But
I do think you are a contributing factor.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, this week has been interesting because there is no question that H-bar has outperformed the market. Yeah, it's
against
you were in Davos.
Yeah.
So well, correlation equals causation.
I don't think that's what the scientists say.
Well,
sure
they don't. But I'm no scientist, so I'm saying,
what does science know?
I'm saying, Max, you were in Davos and we outperformed the market. Ergo, you are the cause.
I'm not going to be able to get my head out of this car when we get to the airport. So
I think it's been a good week. There's been a lot of good.
There's
been a lot of good stuff.
Do you see that?
So I'm going to tell the community that our community online just rocks so hard.
Yeah.
And because we were one day we were 7th as the top influencer at the World Economic Forum.
I saw that. Yeah, it was amazing.
The next day we were 12th, but that's fine. We were ahead of every major corporation there. How nuts is that?
Do you know how many
we were ahead? What's that?
It's 1,600
that were there.
1,600, and we were number 7.
We were number 7, but we were number 1 of corporations.
Yes.
And no other. There were plenty of blockchains there.
Yeah.
Public ledgers.
Yeah.
They were nowhere. They weren't even in the top 100.
No. No, they weren't. They really weren't. Yeah.
You know, there was Greta Thunberg, and then
and then Hedera.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I do believe, and we need to sit down as a team, and I'd love ideas, by the way, of how, because I would say that was lucky happenstance. it was
you?
not programmatized in any way. We did
planned.
not go into Davos and say, let's be, you know, the top influencing.
Yeah, you didn't say let's do
Yeah.
ABC and that'll be
No,
that.
in fact, you know, some handle on Twitter posted it, and that's what drew my attention to it, and then everyone else's attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's miraculous. So when you find something like that, then you can analyze it, and then next year we can really think about how to bring that experience more to the community, get the community more involved,
Yeah.
more amplifying.
Yes.
And you know, maybe we'll do amazing things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
Absolutely.
digress.
No, it's an important point because, and I hope people get the context of that. I mean, Davos it's the epicenter for 1 week. It's the epicenter of the business, conservation, pretty much everything world. I mean, of the 1,600 biggest companies in the world, 600 and something of all.
By the way, I didn't know there was 1,600. I
Yeah.
can totally believe it.
Yeah,
It's a
1,600
big
and
number.
600 and like I think it was 680 of the CEOs of those businesses were at Davos, and 180 of the world's billionaires were in Davos. So that kind of gives you some sort of
And Max.
yeah, and me, and so that kind of gives you some context of how amazing that achievement is. But
How many of them had a dedicated shop on the promenade?
Well, a lot of the cryptos, they were nowhere to be seen. A lot of the distributed ledgers, and they
Did not.
They were on the high street too, and they didn't have a.
No, I mean, how many of the 1,600 had a dedicated presence? What do you think? 40?
Oh yeah. Well, there's how many shops are there?
That's what I'm I didn't count.
Yeah, I
But
don't
you
know.
were-
I'd have to go back to that video I made.
But that's probably right.
Yeah.
Don't you think 40?
Yeah, about 40, 50, yeah, something like that. So
Anyway, we're going to let the community vote
yeah.
on the number of H-bars. We should cap it though, because what if they come back with, you know, an outrageous...
Yeah, well, no, they're pretty
outrageous
decent
figure?
people. They're not trolls, so they'll come up with a good number. Or what we'll do is we'll add them all up and divide them by we'll get the average or something.
All right, or the median.
Or the median.
Because
yeah.
it could skew it. If
Yeah,
someone's
if someone's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, and this is really an important point, if in 5 years' time I'm wrong and H-bar's £10, I could be in big trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or so could you.
Yeah,
So we do
well,
have to,
you obviously think it's more likely, and I want you to be more likely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll let everyone vote, and I like your idea.
Okay, good.
Median. Okay. All right. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What else? We can't run out of stuff to talk about, can we?
No. We're good.
Yeah.
We could go 16 hours probably.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think? So, just not hold you to it, but just your sole gut feeling now is Hedera going to be in Davos next year?
My gut feeling is yes, but I will say I went into Davos. It's the first time, you know, we've done it.
Yeah.
And I think when you do something for the first time, it's good to have low expectations.
Yeah.
And be in learning mode.
Record everything.
So, and we had a large contingent there actually. When you think about the governing council members that were there,
yeah,
and then Brett and his executive team that were there, H-Bar Foundation's team, Hashgraph Association team. I don't know in total how many representatives of Hedera there were, but it was you know, probably 25 or so.
Yeah, and they're all working flat out as well.
So in order to really know, you know, was it worth the investment? Because it you know, it's not newsflash, it's not cheap.
Yeah. That's public information, isn't it?
What?
The cost.
I think I told everyone, didn't I? In the first part of the interview we did the other day.
Yeah. Can you remember what you said?
Well, I know what my budget was, so if I said it, I'll say it again.
What was your budget?
1.5 million.
Okay,
which, US.
Yeah.
Which I can promise everyone is, I know it sounds crazy because it's a lot of money, but that is a steal for Davos. We spent the least amount of money possible for the biggest impact possible, which is always how we should go about budgeting, right? Because it's actually easy to spend more, but you should always think, if I spend more, is my impact going to be more? And because we didn't know,
that's a really great point.
we weren't crazy. There were things that we de-scoped from the plans that you spent a lot of time with Claudio.
Yeah,
and
I did.
you know,
he's fantastic, by the way.
He's amazing, and he has, you know, he really is a amazing creative.
Handsome.
What?
Handsome. Are you listing adjectives? Yeah. Creative,
you know,
amazing, handsome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly creative. So he had amazing ideas. He's built stuff all over the world for, you know, huge brands.
Yes.
But there's a lot of cost to it, and so we de-scoped a lot. But I think it had a big impact. But we won't really know until, one, we debrief as a bigger team and get all the feedback from it. I can tell you, I talked with, so Avery Dennison sent 2 sales engineers to demo Atma.io on Hedera, and they sent 2 senior executives, Pascal and Michael.
Yeah.
And so I did have an opportunity to speak with all of them and ask them what their initial reaction was, and they were so excited because I won't say the brand because I don't think I'm allowed to.
No.
But you know, there was a big brand that they had talked with previously about a deal on Atma, and one of the senior executives from this big brand was there and came by Hedera, it's not who's everyone, it's definitely house.
I don't know why you waited 4 days to tell me that.
And you know, they were telling me that this deal that had, I can't say it died, but definitely stalled.
Yeah.
Now, because of the senior executive coming into the Hedera house, seeing the demo, talking to them, asking questions, there's been a flurry of emails, and the deal is accelerating. Fantastic. And guess what? Every deal that gets deployed on Avery Dennison Atma.io is using Hedera now.
Yeah.
And this brand does 3 billion items a year.
Yeah. I actually was when this person walked in off the street.
Oh, so you know about this?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Cool.
And what really excites me about that is that they're not only massive, but they're retail. So they're business to customer, which means that people get to like experience it for themselves. Because I think one of the problems, or one of the challenges with a lot of the use cases at the moment, is that they are hidden and they're business to business, and they're, you know, massive use cases, or will be massive use cases, and they're fantastic ideas, and they're solving a real purpose, and they're doing it in no way any other platform could do. But it's not, and I'm just picking names at random here, it's not Starbucks, and you can, you know, people can go into a shop, drink Starbucks, and say,
it's these
guys are Hedera. It's not Starbucks, by the way. It's not. It's really not. And then, or go into McDonald's and eat some chips and say, you know, these guys are on Hedera. And so I think that's really exciting, that it is a retail person.
So anyway, they would say, or because they did say that, again, they'll debrief, but they absolutely believed that it was worth being there, just based on their early experience. Let
me just say, guys, I'm honestly, I'm not going to say, so please don't like harass me asking, because I am not going to say. So that's that. Hopefully one day we'll all learn about it. So, and it's kind of irrelevant as well if it doesn't happen. So who they are.
Yeah.
So can we talk about my community, which I think is fantastic, and then you came up with a better idea, my community node idea, community governing council member. And so basically what I thought was, because in my mind the governing council is a body of some of the world's most largest you know, academia, industry, banking, finance, law, and so on. But there isn't a community node. There isn't a node that's sort of for the people, in inverted commas, that can have a seat at the table. And so I suggested to Christian that the governing council choose trusted members in the community to have us to share a seat that is there to represent the people. And the WEF have the Young World Leaders group, which is
Young Global Leaders,
Young Global
YGL.
Leaders, YGL, yeah.
Who are quite old.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, they're not so young. So I don't know if it's relative to everyone else.
It might be.
But yeah, they're more experienced.
Well, I think I could be in a way. I mean, obviously I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because it's like a secret society. They tap me on the shoulder.
Right, is it? Yeah.
Like CIA. Yeah.
Right. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know that. And so, by the way, I've only met two of the Young Global Leaders, and they're both fantastic. I've got to say, because one is Neil Minnie, and the other one that I met was Project 17 chap.
A.Y. Young.
A.Y. Young, yeah, also a fantastic person. And so I thought, and then I said, "What do you think?"
I didn't know he was YGL. That's good.
Yeah. So I honestly thought you were going to pick me up on your shoulders and run round the Hedera house or house and say, "Max,
I could not pick you up on my shoulders." So I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to metaphorically. I thought you were going to put your t-shirt over your head and run around like an aeroplane, thinking Max has cracked it. But then you came up with an even better idea.
No, actually, your idea is terrible.
Thank you.
It's terrible.
Why?
So the idea about having community involvement and a seat at the table is not terrible. That's wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
And of course, as we roll out community nodes, the community could get together and apply to run a node.
Same problem.
No.
Same
hold
problem.
on.
Yeah.
But you were just referencing community nodes. By
Yes.
the way.
No, I said GC. I corrected myself actually.
Yeah, but I want for your audience.
Yes.
I'm going to say there is no barrier to getting together and applying to run their community node.
Got it.
That can happen in whatever.
Now. Not yet.
Well, we haven't rolled them out yet.
No,
but
when it happens.
when whatever the criteria get rolled out, and I don't know when it is, but it's coming.
Do you know what the criteria
you could self-organize. I don't.
No,
I honestly don't.
Okay.
I mean, I know anyone can go and see what the hardware requirements are, but I don't know about. I honestly, I don't.
Right.
Not only do I not know, I don't believe it's been, really decided by the council.
Okay.
But what you're saying about, a seat at the table as a governing council member, your idea to elect sort of community leaders and representatives, and I think you were lobbying for yourself, by the way.
Well, like that transparent.
So there's number one.
I picked out a new suit and everything.
Number one, Manson Lehman thought a very long time about the governance model, and how to make sure that it maintains the security of the ledger overall. So the challenge with your idea is, what do the governing council members bring to the table? They are putting their brands and reputations on the line. And certainly not yet, but Max Walker&Williams is not Google.
Fair.
Or LG.
Yep.
Or Avery Dennison.
Can I just remind you again that I have feelings?
But individuals, they are community members.
Yeah. There's different levels of value
but they're not corporations with large market caps, and so from that perspective it's different. And there's a cautionary tale here, because if we rewound 18 months, we would all have said H-Bar Price should be, one of those leaders. He was one of those leaders, and in fact, for all the, how it ended with H-Bar Price was not pretty.
No. Real shame.
And for those of you who don't even know what I'm referencing, you can ask people.
Just
we won't get into it.
Oh,
But he was integral
a shoe-in
to the early building of the community. You know, the Hedera would not be Hedera as it is without, you know, his efforts and the efforts of other people like him.
Yeah.
So it was sad. I was sad when that went down.
Yeah.
But, you know, we saw in real time a good actor, you know, really a huge proponent for Hedera, become a bad actor.
Yeah.
And that would not be pretty if they were even, you know, somehow involved in the governing council. So, and big disclaimer, all the talk that I'm just about to say, I am no longer at Hedera, right?
Yeah.
I'm at Swirlds Labs. You know, we're fully decentralized in that respect. I have no decision-making power. I can, you know, suggest things and lobby for things, but
so can the community.
You know, I don't have that seat at the table.
Yeah, got it.
So, which is interesting. That's been an adjustment for me, for sure, and for all of us who used to be at Hedera.
Frustrations?
Well, we can talk about that in a minute. Let me just finish this.
Yeah,
off.
sorry.
So, you know, Mance and I have talked over the years about how to get more community involvement with the council, and vice versa, by the way, which we'll talk about in a minute as well. Like Max, you met a bunch of individual representatives from council members, and you should talk about sort of their, you know, how they were as people and their desire to be more community focused.
Yes.
But, you know, what might be something that you could do would be a community DAO, and the DAO has its own governance model, of course.
Yeah.
And then you grant and I don't even know from a legal, regulatory, any of that standpoint. Right? This may be dead in the water before it starts. But because a DAO is an entity that is recognized, you know, maybe a community DAO could become a council member. I would love to see that, by the way. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the DAO could run in a way where the DAO gets all of its ideas voted on by the community, and then that idea that it becomes the, you know, winningest vote then goes to the council as an idea, and then the council comes to consensus on whether it's a good idea.
How amazing would that be?
It would be. I'd love to see it. It's very different from what's been envisaged, obviously, from the get-go. But you know, that would be really cool.
But it should be able to change and evolve. Otherwise,
absolutely, it has changed and evolved.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, when the council first started, there was no thought of giving other Web3 organizations a seat at the table. And that's, you know, that's now something that's recognized. Oh, you know, that's a good thing. So well, let's stay tuned on that. But I'm gonna ask you that question now. You got to meet council member representatives.
Yeah, I did.
Talk about your experience with them. And
I think of the ones that I met,
Can I say one thing before you go?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because as a community, we see these faceless corporations, right? You see the names, the brands, and they are headless. Right? You don't see the people behind them.
Yeah, they're just brands.
But you got to see the people.
I did, and I think it's a really good point, and it's something that I think that the governing council, I mean, I don't even know if they have their own. Do the governing council have their own sort of media department? Because there should be one person who is.
What do you mean? We're the media department. Zenobia's the media department.
No, for the governing council, not for Hedera. For the governing council.
Well, the governing council is Hedera.
Yes, I know, but for the governing council, for that department of Hedera, if you like, they should have one person who is responsible for making sure that people know everything that they should know about them, including the human element. A 20-minute, 10-minute, half an hour profile of each person who attends the governing council members. You know, like Andy today, what a fantastic person. I cannot wait to get that interview online. My only problem is that nowhere near enough people who should see it will see it. But if that was...
But he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, fantastic. And so why wouldn't...
And passionate about
exactly.
Hedera.
So why wouldn't you want people to say who's on the governing council body, and then people say DLA Piper? Oh, and by the way, that's Andy. And then he's such a great guy. He's so knowledgeable. He did this. He worked there. You know, he spent 7-8 years at Microsoft. He's at Washington DC, right at the centre of sort of the political thing, and everything that I'm going to talk about with him in his interview. Why would you want to keep that a secret? And so I think it's such an important thing.
We don't want to keep that a secret.
Right. So well, that's what I'm saying. So why not have? You know, this is a great point.
But it's hard because you were fortunate enough to catch them in a setting where I don't know exactly how to phrase this, but
what, they're in like show mode,
if we
presentation mode,
you know, hit up all of the council members via email and said, you know, we want to do a profile on you.
Yes.
Guess what the first thing each one of them says?
Presumably no.
No?
I'd have to check with...
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to check with corporate, legal.
Yeah.
I have to check with PR.
Yeah.
I have to exactly. I have to check.
Yes.
And that becomes hard. You were lucky. They were in an environment where they were very approachable.
Yes.
And didn't have to do that. You know, you grabbed Andy. I think you talked with Hasker. I think you talked with the Avery Dennison folks.
Yeah, I did. So why don't we build on that then? Why don't we use the interview with Andy as like, we want to do this for whoever.
By the way, I'm having a Schweppes lemon.
Oh, they're fantastic, aren't
They
they?
really are good.
And
don't get these in the States.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't really get them in the UK. They're rare. So yeah, we both got one, didn't we?
Cheers.
Yeah, well, I got cheers, but I don't know what my bottle is. It's pitch black and I'm driving. Where's my... No, that's water. No, that's in case I get stranded.
I don't know where it is.
Yes, yeah. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Goose. By the way, we're 1.3 miles from the airport.
Yeah, I'm not going to the airport.
And you're not going to the airport?
I'm going to the Marriott near the airport.
Right, well, I don't know. I'm enjoying this, so, and I don't want it to end in
1.2 miles.
in 3 minutes, yeah. So should we go for a little bit longer? So, well, let's go to the airport, then I'll drive you to your... I mean, at these fuel prices, we have to pull over. So...
It was 104...
Yeah, we should...
I'm going to translate it into dollars.
Okay.
It was 100... I'm actually still processing this, because...
Well, I did say to you,
it's
don't offer to pay.
$147. You said it was only half a tank.
It was. I promise it was.
So that's $300 to fill up this car.
To fill up this car. But this car is mental. It's got a mental tank size. So it isn't the fuel is expensive here, far really expensive, but it is also that this car is fantastic because it's got a huge tank. So you've got well, we've fueled up. We've been driving for a while now, and I've still got 500 miles on the range. So that's pretty good.
How far will I mean, that'll get you into England from here, won't it?
No, I'll have to fuel up again. Yeah. It's about 900 miles to thingy. Oh, we're actually full on going into the airport. I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm shocked. I'm the one driving.
No, we're going into the Flughafen.
Yes, we are going into the Flughafen. So let's really do something with that then, because I think it'd be a really good thing if we could use my interview as a case study. Surely, if they can see what it is, it was only half an hour, I think, 40 minutes, and if they, I'm gonna have to, if I have to pay to park.
No, let's not do that.
No, let's not do that. We got departures, arrivals. I can't turn around. It's one way. How do we get out?
You have to be able to.
Yeah. The circle shopping.
Yeah, circle feels good.
Motorway.
Yeah.
So
what we should do is put in the address for the hotel.
That would make
not
sense.
not the address, but it's it's the Marriott.
Well, do you wanna help or?
I don't know how this thing works.
I'll do the driving. Look, you're the co-pilot.
Just tell me what buttons to push.
Press the
okay.
end ring.
End.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no. 1 minute.
Oh, I think that would have been fine. Oh
no, it definitely would not be fine. And
yeah.
it's also 2 meter height.
Yeah.
This car's more than 2 meters.
Yeah, that would have been.
We dodged a bullet there. Right, search.
Okay.
There we go.
And I am doing.
And here we go. I can pull in.
Marriott.
So I'm not killing anyone.
Okay, Marriott. And this should give us this one. That's the right one. Boom.
Fantastic.
There we go.
Have you seen this, by the way? What 3 words?
No.
You need to speak to those guys. They what they did, they carved up the entire Earth, every square inch of every square meter of the entire Earth, and then they gave every square meter 3 words. So your living room, you can go on their website for free, put in use Google Maps to pinpoint your home, and then zoom in on their software.
You're making me nervous, but wait, what are we doing?
We're getting out of here because they're all fueling up.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
for those of you who don't know, we didn't. Max just did some.
No, you're the co-pilot. You have to take responsibility, Christian.
Well, that was good driving.
Thank you
actually, because there's a good turning circle on this car.
It is.
London Taxi.
It's a fantastic car. So, anyway, this is important. So what 3 words carved up the Earth into meters squared?
Yeah, my living room is on there.
And they gave, well, not just that, the left-hand side of your living room is a square meter. It's got 3 words. The square meter next to that's got 3 words. So if you type in, see where it said what 3 words? Yeah. If you now put that in sat-navs, it'll take you to their front door, and there's no, it's 6 doors down that way, or it's to the meter squared. Cool. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
And they're using it
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, they're using it for emergency services. So you can imagine if you're on a mountain or something and you say, oh, well, I'm on this mountain and I'm not sure where I am. If you've got they're putting it on like satellite phones and panic things and stuff. And when they, all they have to say is, I'm at cheese breakfast floor, and then they know where they are to the meter.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's called what 3 words. It's amazing.
Google or someone will buy them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that does seem like an evolution.
They should NFT each square, and then you could buy your living room.
Yes.
And then you could buy a meter square of Manchester football pitch.
So that sounds like a good target for Utopian Labs.
It also sounds like a good target for Hedera.
Well, obviously, if it was Utopian Labs, it would be Hedera.
Yeah, it would be, of course. Not Ethereum.
Although earlier we did say if you get big enough, you go somewhere else.
Did we?
You said that.
No, I didn't. Why? No, I didn't say that. Please, I didn't say that. You just cost me my following.
No, but we gained you a new one on another chain.
On a much bigger chain. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, so yeah, I think we should definitely do that. Look at how we.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is to go to where council members are. So an idea could fail, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's all keep expectations very low.
Yeah.
But I was in the council meeting, the online council meeting.
Just one sec, because I don't know if this is still got sound. Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
The council meeting last week.
Yeah.
And at the end of the council meeting, Google has very kindly offered to host a in-person council meeting in May at their headquarters in Silicon Valley.
Oh wow.
So what would be cool would be if we could talk them into hosting a meetup or something, and you know, like a real community meetup at Google, and you know, people come along and network with council members, and you know, it's that kind of setting where you're going to get that kind of content, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be amazing. Do you think they'd send the
I
Google plane to pick me up? because I can't
odds
drive.
are less even than anything else we've talked about.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, Jaguar Land Rover are fantastic, Inchcape Preston.
They
but
don't do a plane yet.
They don't do a plane, and I can't see them saying, even they've got their limits, like, I can't see them saying, yeah, take this car and drive it to America.
Yeah, and it is a long flight.
Yeah, it is a long flight. Okay.
But
there's definitely something there.
if it, and again, everyone should keep their expectations like on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people saying, "Oh, Christian said we can all go to Silicon Valley," because I did not, and I'm not.
No.
You know,
Listen, if H barbarians are good at one thing, it's managing their expectations.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story?
Please do.
Because I haven't wanted to tweet about it because on Twitter it's going to sound so lame, but because it is lame.
Right.
But last summer, I forget exactly when it was.
Yeah.
No, not last summer, the summer before, 21.
Yeah.
So I think it was about June 21. I had seen this term, face melt, and, you know, memes of it.
Yes.
All over the place.
Yeah, it went big quick, yeah.
And not about me,
No.
not about me. I was seeing other people saying about face melt.
Yeah.
And surprise, surprise, sometimes I tweet without thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly the wording of my tweet, but it was something like, I hope face melt doesn't hurt too much or something.
I remember this.
Yeah. And so many people in the community, because they have low expectations and they don't try and look for secret, you know, meanings.
Yeah.
Took that to mean that I was saying that we as Hedera were going to have a face melting experience.
Expect something massive.
Yeah.
Brace yourself.
When all I was doing was responding to a bit of a zeitgeist moment, being like, what the heck is face melt? I hope it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. You were making a joke.
And I
about
did
face
not
melt.
even think about the ramifications of what I was.
I think that might be the problem.
Saying. Yeah. No, because I tweeted without thinking.
Yeah.
And so, and again, if I had tried to explain this on Twitter, it sounds super lame. But
Yeah.
it's a funny story. So now every time I see people, you know, dig that up from a couple of years ago and say, you said we were going to have a face melt experience.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit bad about it, but it also makes me smile because I remember the story.
I don't think you should feel bad about it. It's
Well, a little bit bad that people thought I meant something from
something
it.
massive was coming.
When it was,
Yeah.
you know, pretty innocent.
But
By the
massive
way,
things
where
are
the hell
coming.
are we?
Well, I've now.
I think Max is kidnapping me, everyone. If you don't hear from me again, I am, what's that, 3 squares? I'm cheese.
Yeah, banana bread
Yeah.
floor. I wouldn't say cheese. I don't like cheese, as we found out.
Yeah. I'm Fluss Eberhardt.
Yeah. I tell you where we are. We're just past your hotel at a dead end,
Okay.
turning around a roundabout. I don't want this to end, but I guess it's going to have to, isn't it? And it's
All
not
good
like, do
things
you know
come
what?
to an end. By the way, if Max decides to, which he can because it's his prerogative, but if he decides to put up part 1 of the of our interview,
Yeah.
it's not as good as this.
No, it's not.
So, yeah.
But that's, yeah.
So you should, in my opinion,
But that's
you
what, yeah,
shouldn't,
it is.
'cause
Yeah,
this
it's
is-
true. But that's not fair for a reason, because that implies that all interviews aren't as good as this one, which I actually agree
No,
with.
no.
But how-
I did not mean
there's
that
a question.
at all.
No, there's a question
No.
coming. How I agree with you. So how do I get the people I'm going to interview
In your car.
into my car, and then get
It's
them
a
to
lot of
agree
driving.
for me to drive them around?
Yeah. Maybe you should become an Uber driver.
Yeah, yeah, and say, look,
No.
I can give you a legitimate lift home.
By the way, you met Ian for the first time, didn't you? Ian Mullins from
Yes.
AdStacks and Yamgo.
Yeah. He's
He
an
came today to
amazing
Davos.
guy.
He's great. He is great.
Do you know what?
He's an OG.
Yeah. That whole story is his whole story is crazy, and I cannot believe that even I didn't know much about it, which is a crime. So 2 things.
I'm joining Club Yamgo, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I talked to him today, and he'd been telling me, oh, you need to join Club Yamgo, but over email it's like, yeah, I'll get around to it. But then I actually, you know, talked to him today and heard the story, and it sounds like it's going to be really cool, and they can pull it off, because they're a really good development team.
They're a proper
really
business. They're proper business, proper people, proper business. I mean, they've been going for like
a long time.
Yeah. I think what, years and years.
Yeah, I mean, they were one of the first applications on Hedera, and of course they've been going, you know, before that.
Before that, absolutely. So we're now in a car park just.
And he's sort of all in on this Yamgo now, which is great. Takes the same infrastructure as AdsDAX.
Yeah.
But is very much a sort of metaverse play, with the ability to stake HBAR and then earn their yammies.
Yes. It's a well. I don't give it all away, because I'm going to interview Ian. In
I didn't give
weeks.
Any away.
No, I know you didn't. But well, that's why.
Well, maybe I did.
You give a bit away. Yeah. Don't ruin it.
All right. Well, so, that's a teaser.
Yeah, it's a teaser. And
is this where I am? Life.
I have no idea. Where did you? I mean, if you're staying at the.
It says we're 60 yards away.
Yeah.
Why isn't it in meters? Because we're in.
Oh, it's in miles an hour as well, because I don't know how to change it, if I'm honest, which is pretty ridiculous for a car reviewer, isn't it? This is a nice looking hotel. Are you sure you're staying here?
It's called Life is Grand.
Life is Grand. Yeah. So, but there's that one there too. So.
What's that one called?
Joyn? Joyn?
No.
Oh, service living.
No, don't know that one.
So, yeah, I'm going to interview. So 2 things are going to happen. We're going to meet up. He's from Swansea, where I'm originally from. I'm going to interview him about the whole.
You're Welsh?
I can do the accent if you want me to. No problem. So I'm going to meet him.
Sounded a little Jamaican.
Did it? Well, no. Bear with me. Let me warm up. So I'm very tired, you know. So I'm going to meet him in Swansea, and then.
Oh yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah. I'm going to meet him in Swansea, and then I'm gonna do one interview about. Yamgo, thank you, and AdsDAX, and all the backstory there, which is amazing. And then I'm going to do another video about Ian himself, because his life story is amazing. You know,
will you do it in a car?
I think we should. And then he's going to take me
skydiving.
No, I'm not doing that. I've done that before. Mountain biking. Big Boss and I went skydiving.
He's an adrenaline junkie, everyone should know.
By the way, and when I say like amazing story, so he was one of the best base jumpers. That's people who jump off buildings.
You gotta be proper crazy.
It's the most. I think it's the most
really
dangerous.
Died
Yeah. Well, he lost his friend. It was horrific. But it's the most
I feel like
dangerous.
You give spoiler alerts,
Yeah. But hopefully, well, I don't know. Is anyone going to watch this long into this?
I don't know. Are you even posting it?
I think even my dad would have given up by at this point. So he was one of the sort of like top 20 in the world, top numbers in the UK base jumper. Those are people who jump off tall buildings in cities and then open a parachute just before they hit the floor. And he's base jumped all over the world. He's parachuted like 900 times or 1,000 times, and he's base jumped all over the world. And they never forced entry into buildings, but his group of guys, they would enter but never force an enter. So they would pick locks and all sorts and hide in buildings at closing time, and then climb up onto the roof and jump off these incredible buildings all over the world. So it's such a niche sport, and he was one of the top of his game, and he took it dead seriously all over the world. So some of the stuff he was telling me is amazing. So we're going to do 2 interviews with him. One about him himself, the person, because his story is so amazing. I'm not just doing that because, you know, for the sake of it. I want to hear his story. I don't care if anyone doesn't watch it. It's just so fascinating. I'm sure a lot of people will. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will.
I mean, I know a little bit, but obviously not.
Oh yeah. I was chatting to him, you know, and yeah, it's just amazing. But he's also he does black run mountain biking, where he jumps 10-foot gaps where if you fall you're dead.
Oh,
and
what?
does flips and stuff on bikes.
I know.
And
I thought he's just into regular mountain biking.
No. Yeah. So I hope that's not why. Well, it'll be the last time. It'll be the last video I make if that's what I'm doing. But
don't have him do that.
No, I'm not. I might just like sit on his handlebars.
Yeah. Anyway, before we go,
Yeah.
what is in these boxes and why do you have them?
Right. So in these boxes is my reward. No, yeah, they're boxes of H-bar. No, they are H-bar. Sorry, they're Hedera merchandise that has got to be sent back. Why? I don't even know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm taking this to a post office, but I don't know why. I should ask more questions. I've got to cross a border with all of this.
Okay, there are 600 umbrellas in here.
Yeah.
Which are going.
Okay. Wait. Before you start, you have to understand that we were in the most secure place on Earth. They have like Apache attack helicopters hidden in the woods. There are snipers on the roofs of buildings, and these guys have got me driving around with like 600 umbrellas. And I was scared that if I got pulled over, they think I was somehow smuggling something, and they'd make me demonstrate that every umbrella opens and works.
Well, you might still get that at the border.
Yeah, I'm going to go through a border with these.
So 600 umbrellas that are going back to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Because we're not throwing them away, by the way, because they printed the wrong logo. No, they printed the right logo. It's Hedera.
It says Ethereum.
it's Hedera logo, but the bar, you know how you have two bars across it.
Yeah.
It's actually all filled in.
Oh right.
So,
oh wow.
So it's wrong.
Yeah.
So they have said that they will reprint them. We'll use them in the future at other events. We'll probably put them in the store. Each one is made from 5 recycled water bottles. All of our merchandise moving forward is going to be sustainable. Yeah,
they're wood handle sustainable, and they're amazing quality as well.
But then they pack them in plastic.
Really?
Yeah, didn't you see the handle was wrapped in plastic?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Why
the sustainable wood
that?
Was wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I hate that. Anyway, sidetrack. And then what else we've got in there are Columbia zip-ups that we produced for Davos, for important people.
Why did you choose Columbia?
So, again, all of our merchandise is going to be sustainable, and Columbia is a sustainable retail brand.
Yeah.
They're very focused on that. So we paid a little bit more, but the quality is there. So you won't see us doing, t-shirts from China and, crappy pens from, plastic stuff. You kindly gave me some umbrellas to give away to the community, the ones with the right logo on. Yeah. So,
and I said that these aren't an Alibaba job. These are.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Yeah. You can tell, like their quality. They were expensive.
They really are. Yeah. So in multiple of these boxes are some of these hoodies, different sizes. But they're not hoodies. They're just zip-ups, so I don't know why I call it a hoodie.
Yeah, why are you mis-selling?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would like you to take a medium, large, extra large, and add it to your 3 umbrellas as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
And do a giveaway.
I've got a really interesting question. In like the collectors markets and stuff, it's always the misprints that become super valuable and rare because they're misprints.
Are you going to open one of those boxes?
One of them split, and that wasn't me. And I've got parcel tape. You can ask Lena; she knows it was broken already. So if I can get one out without opening the box,
yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
If I can get one out without opening the box, we can do that as a giveaway. Or I might keep it for myself because I give everything I get away, and I never keep anything. So I might keep it for myself, and one day that'll be the misprint.
All right.
Okay.
No, I wish we'd given the misprints away.
Yeah. Well, you can't give them away to people who aren't are familiar with your thing. It's got to be to people who know it's a misprint.
Right. Yes. Of course, we couldn't have given. That's why we didn't give them away because we were like, it's not really our logo.
Given them away.
It's the worst.
No, Max has got an idea. You don't understand, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that wouldn't have worked. That's why I made a decision.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're tired. I don't know if you can tell.
Max got in at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
He gave a famous chef a lift home.
No, he's not a chef.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. He's the media guy. Walker&Williams.
I thought he was an African.
No,
chef.
he had that really amazing red hat on. He was one of the speakers with Will.i.am today. Do you see him?
Yeah, we I did. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw Will.i.am again today.
Yeah, we did. He
Oh, can I tell you? Can I tell you some people that I saw?
Yeah, go on then.
Because I haven't told you.
Yeah, do some name dropping.
Well,
You can take your belt off if you want.
yesterday I was outside Hedera House,
Thank you.
which,
Yeah.
and this probably won't mean much to anyone who isn't English, but Tony Blair came barreling down the street
Really?
with
Being chased by a
his
mob? Or?
no. I nearly chased him afterwards because his security detail, he was standing in the middle, they were walking fast, he was surrounded by 4 guys, and I was standing on the pavement, and the security guard literally barged me off the pavement. No excuse me or nothing. Barged me off the pavement, and I had to step into the road. And he was, Tony Blair was all like,
That's a shame.
so I didn't like him.
No.
He didn't look friendly.
No.
At breakfast yesterday, Claudio and I were having breakfast, and he said, "Oh, there's Jared Kushner at the next table to us."
Really?
Do you know who Jared Kushner is?
No.
Jared Kushner is Ivanka Trump's
Oh yes, I
husband.
do. Yes, of course I do. Yeah, the property. Yeah, his family property. His dad got in a bit of trouble, didn't he? Yeah, no, I do know because I read.
Just a spot.
I read that. Yeah, just
Spot,
a small spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were accused of being some landlords in a thing recently. Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
I don't think they're an amazing family, but who knows?
Yeah, but you don't believe everything I read.
So he was there. So I had to put my glasses on, verified it. He was there. As we were looking over at Jared Kushner, making sure it was him, John Kerry walked by.
Wow.
Do you know John Kerry?
No.
He was senator, and now he's the what is he? The secretary of something or other. We need to look that up real quick. He's had so many positions, but he's a famous politician.
Okay. I'll put something on the screen. I'll edit it in. Who he is?
I'm embarrassed. I don't know. I need to look it up right now.
Okay, you look at it right now.
And then Christine Lagarde, we could not get out of our hotel the other day. We were trying. Claudio and I were trying to walk out of our hotel.
Yeah.
And as we go to the door, security stops us with a hand.
Yeah.
And says, "Over there, you wait." And we're like, "But we're going to be late to Hedera House. We got to leave."
Yeah. Did he say it was house?
Didn't care. He didn't care about
it's house and go over there. Yeah.
He didn't care about the fact that we were late. He said, "You just got to wait." And we said, "How long do we have to wait?" He said, 2 minutes. Right, okay. 2 minutes.
Yeah, fine.
15 minutes later, we were still waiting.
Right.
And then Christine Lagarde comes through with all of her security.
Yeah.
She's the head of the European Central Bank.
Yeah.
And Bill McDermott, who is the CEO of ServiceNow.
Yeah.
Was also there, so we had to wait for him. And then
was that a bit strange? That you were like, "Oh no, I know him."
Well, I don't know him.
Yeah, I know, but you could, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: he walked straight by me, and he was like, "Hey, Christian, great."
The more I shouted, the quicker he walked.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
And then, just as I was waiting for you this evening, Jamie Dimon, who is head of Morgan Stanley, he was standing next to us, and Claudia's like, "Oh, hey, I saw you on TV today. You were great. I saw your interview." And he just looked at Claudia and was like, "Yeah." And then went over to the bar.
Well, that's nice of him.
So he is not a fan of.
He's a prickly guy anyway, and he's not a fan of crypto.
No.
Well, he's not a fan of blockchain, and I think Claudia should do everything it takes to.
He did not seem super approachable, but I did give Claudio a mission to go have a glass of wine with him and see if he could.
I'm sure he accepted that mission. You had him at wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claudio, I mean, he'll network with anyone. So.
If any, do you know what? And I'm not just saying this. If anyone can crack that nut, my money would be on him.
He's your man.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Well, with that, I hope you've got enough good stuff.
Well, he's got me crossing borders with boxes I haven't checked.
It's really been wonderful.
It's been amazing.
By the way, let me say, I am so thankful that you posed to the community, should you come to Davos. The community said yes.
Yeah.
You came.
Yeah.
You were, hopefully you had a good time.
I had a fantastic time.
But you were really, it was great having you there.
Oh,
I think
you
you represented for the community really well, networked well.
Thank you.
And really appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you. I tried to come at it at a slightly different angle than the official team, if you like.
Yeah.
And I got a bit more freedom too, so it's easier. It's easier for me.
Yeah, and at no inconsiderable cost as well. I know how much this stuff costs, so thank you very much, and thank you to your family for letting you.
Well, yeah,
come.
because I got, you know, I like the governing council members. I've got to check with the boss upstairs. And
well, I got to meet not meet her, but
you saw the whole family.
I did.
You saw the full board of directors. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
What a great family.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So
Don't drive off with my stuff.
No, I won't. Is your seed phrase in your bag? Because I might.